So here we are. We're going live here at the Mine Side, and happy to have you guys here and with us. And so let's talk about some culture of winning. If you have any questions, let us know and what it takes. This past weekend, we had two major victories with the Mine Side team. We had Sydney Clanton, who won on the Symetra Tour. Congrats to Sydney. He's been a longtime client and friend. So War Eagle to Sydney for that victory on the Symetra Tour. Always great to see a player persevere and push through and to gain that big victory. And then yesterday in the Zurich Classic, Jon Rahm with his partner Ryan Palmer with a big victory. Absolutely incredible to watch teamwork. So I want to talk a little bit about winning and what winning takes. When you're trying to compete and win and do what it, fight the good fight and all the successes that you want, one of the hardest things to do is, how do you know that winning is going to happen when in the darkest hours, when you're the furthest you feel away from it, that winning seems so out there? It seems so unattainable. What is the psychological patience that it takes for you to continue to push through? I work with business owners all the time, and business people will tell me, I sat down with the bank and the bank told me to write a business plan. And I spent hours upon hours writing this business plan of how I was going to succeed. And I never used the damn thing. Well, we do the same thing when we're trying to create winning plans all the time. How many times have you heard, just trust the process and it's all going to work out? No, it's not. The process is built for you to win the daily challenges, to win the monthly challenges, and to win the overall challenges. The greatest organizations and teams trust their systems and processes to win the market. They win the big games. And those processes and challenges are built throughout every day and every scenario to get better. It's not about just trusting it and letting go. What we have to do is let go of the anxiety that comes with the fact if we don't win. See, every one of you tells the story in your head that I want to win because it's going to alleviate all the fears, doubts, and insecurities that I have. But I'm going to be honest with you. Winning doesn't alleviate that. What does alleviate it is trusting your way to overcome the challenges that you have. That is the process. Trusting the process that you've refined and built in your game. Refining and developing and overcoming the ups and the downs to manage the dark places. How do you do that? That's the million-dollar question. How do I find the strength to keep pushing on when it gets so difficult? The ultimate thing you always have to ask yourself is, what is my purpose today? What are the things that I need to do today to help me reach my goals? See, so many of you are caught up in all the drama around it. You're caught up in all the what ifs. Why is somebody else performing better than me? Why is somebody else doing better than me? What is it that I am lacking? Versus reconnecting to what's my purpose today. That's the greatest process you have, is to learn the purpose of today. And that purpose is winning the individual battles. To be aware of what the challenges are in front of you and what the call is in order to succeed. If you can boil down all the drama that you have and get back to that simple question, what is it that I need to do today? When I watched Ryan Palmer and Jon Rahm win, what I saw were people who had a clear purpose of what they were trying to accomplish. They were so invested shot to shot. They were so invested in the challenges that were in front of them versus getting caught up in where they were in the tournament, what they were trying to compete, who their competitors were. Now, it's not that other people didn't do that, okay? It's just this week, their formula worked beautifully. See, in order to understand your purpose, you have to ask yourself, what is the most important thing I need to do right now? Throughout all of our winning and our trials and tribulations to win, we get caught up on sidetracks, things that take our attention, rob us of our ability to succeed because we lose our focus of what it takes. We start chasing what I call chasing rabbits. You know that dog that chases rabbits into the bush, into the brush? The dog never goes to where the rabbit is going. The dog always goes to where the rabbit was last. That's what happens when we lose our way. We start chasing the fixes versus identifying our process and plan to succeed. That's why I don't want you to just trust the process. I want you to trust the process that you develop to win every battle and win every moment you're in. In business, you have a challenge today. The better you can boil down what it takes to succeed, the more successful you're going to be. Why is it in the NBA right now, we are so caught up in how the officials are officiating the games? It's easy to bitch and moan about how an official has screwed you when you don't have a solid game plan. When you give up your power and controls to another human being to influence your outcome, you have lost your way. It is better for you to focus on how to overcome bad calls instead of seeing how the bad calls have wronged you. It is better for you to be more successful of dealing with the bad calls than being focused on how am I always getting screwed here? That's not successful management of your game plan. Your game plan is so resilient to overcome the ups and the downs. You have to understand how pressure impacts you in 4 areas. Number 1, how does it impact you physically? How do you feel physically? How does it change your process? If you're a public speaker or you're speaking to your sales team, how does pressure impact your presentation style? If you're a coach, how does pressure impact you? If you're a golf coach and somebody's standing on your tee and struggling, how do you physically perform under increased pressure? How does it impact you psychologically? Most of us under pressure get preventative. We don't get aggressive. We hold back. We protect what we have. See, too many of you want to win, but not do what it takes. To not strip away all the anxieties and all the protections that you have. You have to be 100% vulnerable in order to win. You must let it be fully exposed to win. Yeah, Billy, I don't want you to go into fix-it mode. Fix-it mode under pressure is telling you that you're not good enough. You've got to trust the process and the game plan to be successful. Those game plans can continue to get better. But if you're trying to fix it, you're trying to protect the outcome, you have no chance of success. You got to allow yourself to be fully vulnerable. What happens, happens. But I'm willing to go all in on it. Why is it that Rob O'Neill, the famous Navy SEAL who killed bin Laden, said that he had to come to terms with his own death before he ever left on the mission? Okay. Matt Ballard, you asked the question, how big of an influence is the story we keep telling ourselves each day? Essentially, what we believe we are capable of on a daily basis. Absolutely. We tell a story in our head that if this would work, if that would work, if I could have this success, then I'd be confident. If I could get more playing time from my coach, if I could get the big sale, if I could have a boss that believed me, if I could have great weather, if I could have the sun shine on me and tell me how great I am. All those are nothing more than if-then statements. And the stories that we tell ourselves are fables. They're not reality. Your story's not done being written yet. Don't tell the story yet. You don't know how it's going to end. You're going to have roadblocks and challenges in front of you on your path to winning. You're going to have people who stand in your way. You're going to have people who tell you you're not good enough. You're going to have people who tell you that you've got too far to go. And we start playing all these if-then statements. Because pressure not only impacts you psychologically and physically, it also impacts your decision making. How does it impact it if the story is being told that if a coach would play me, I'd get more at bats and I'd perform better in those at bats? How would it help me if I told it is that I had 100% support, if I had a full scholarship, if I had college coaches recruiting me, I know I'd be successful. If I. See, winning doesn't have the word if in it. Winning is a process. It's an action verb. It's not an outcome. Thanks, Rodney. It's an outcome that requires an action verb of winning the battles you're in. See, winning, you're not born a winner. You're born with the opportunity to learn how to win. You win little battles along the way. Like, never understood why people think that you have to win the first time out. Yes, I want you to do everything it takes to win. But I want you to learn to be a winner every time out. Every time. People don't just are born with this winning all over them. They're trained to win. See, young male lions are trained to hunt by their mom lions. When they turn about 3, the mother lion starts to starve them so that they can learn to hunt. Because when you're trying to win, you have to be starving to want it. Okay, you build a process, but the process isn't what wins. You can't control winning and losing. So you invest fully in your hunt. That's what winning is all about. That male lion has to hunt by screwing up. It misses its prey. But a great predator refines their predatory skills and hunts more and more until they can't lose. But the reason why they hunt when they're starving is because there's no alternative. See, where you're making a mistake is winning is important, but the alternatives aren't so bad. Well, you can always overcome any alternative you're in. You can screw up things as long as you don't kill somebody and you don't make public declarations that are going to impact your reputation or your personality of who you are. Okay. You can overcome, you can screw up things and still persevere if you learn something from it. But give me everything. Yeah, learn to win by losing. I don't want you to lose. I want you to learn to win by winning the smaller battles. And smaller battles, Billy, do have losing attached to it. Because the fourth area where pressure really, really gets you is it gets you in your resiliency. What brings you back to the fight every day? What brings you back to the battle every day? What brings you back to the winning experience? Can you leave an experience frustrated but motivated? Or if you told this story in your head and the story didn't write the ending the way you thought it would, your expectations will get too high. And guess what? You will leave frustrated and you will leave discouraged. You will not leave determined. That's why when I work with junior golfers, one of the things I tell parents, don't leave if they have a bad round. Don't hurry up and run to the car and call your coach. And this goes for all sports. Don't hurry up and call and book an appointment with your private coaching tutor. Don't do that. Learn to stay at the park and congratulate others. Learn to answer the questions like, hey, Brett, you really sucked today. Yeah, you know what? Today was a rough day, but I'm really excited about how you played. I mean, you played amazing. Yeah, I just didn't have my good stuff. Once we understand that in our head, then all of a sudden, how bad is losing? Nobody cares. They don't build statues for people who come in second place. They build statues for winners. Winning is a challenge. It is something to learn to do. They don't build. Why is it? I tweeted this last night. Why is it that we get so caught up on people and listen to the success strategies of people who've had their 15 minutes of fame, and we ignore the tried and true success stories out there? Why is it that we do that? Why is it that the people who are flash in the pants, who won't be here in 2 years, we listen more to their success stories than the people who've had success over and over and over again. You know why? Because we don't want to be prepared for the endurance. We want to be prepared for the arrival. You must be prepared for the endurance, the long path of success, the ups and the downs, and learning to refine your winning ways. Take a way today. Learn to win today. Learn to overcome. Trust the process? Sure. But I teach my guys, my girls, to trust the process to win. We trust the process as our formula to winning. We can't control winning and losing, but we can do everything we can to try to influence it. We just don't attach ourselves psychologically to the outcome. We attach ourselves psychologically to the lessons of the endurance. I'll talk to you guys next week.